because I have to do them one step at a time. I have a knee that just doesn't support my weight anymore.
Well, I'm not doing so well myself, but. So that, the Morgan Breeden room was another cell at that time, right?
Yeah, that's one of the 4 cells.
Uh-huh.
Although we didn't rebuild it as a cell.
Which way are we going? This way or this way?
These 2 over here were originally cells of the same way.
Uh-huh.
But this room, we're depicting the African-American presence in Prince William County.
Mm-hmm.
I have a problem with the term African-American as it applies to slaves, because the term didn't actually come into being until about 20 years ago or something like that.
Right, right.
And so slaves were not considered to be Americans either. They were property.
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't call a horse an Arabian American horse.
That's right.
And then after the Civil War, they referred to themselves as colored.
Mm-hmm.
And I use the term colored when I talk about them, and I offend some people, but.
Well, I remember when I was young, when we were young, the term Negro. There was nothing
Yeah.
wrong with the term Negro.
No. Now this window is originally one of the original windows with bars. If you look up here just above the window in the windowsill, you can see where it's been burned. You can see the charcoal looking stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
This is the room that a slave man named Landon attempted to burn his way out.
Mm.
He set fire to the room and burned through some of it, but you don't burn through bricks, so he didn't get out anyhow.
Yeah.
They were going to hang him, but they didn't. They sent him to Mississippi or something.
The floor work is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, domestic slave trade. What's that building? Franklin, okay. I'll read all this later when I can focus on it. Is that the little schoolhouse?
That's the one. That's the one over the black schoolhouse. It's located over on Lucasville Road.
Oh, okay. Any more comments about this one? Hang on.
This room over here
Yeah.
is not a criminal cell. This is a debtor cell.
So how is that different?
The debtor cell is different, and it didn't have bars. It did have a door, but it didn't have bars. It does have a fireplace. It was more comfortable. It was the people who were in here were given more liberties. They were treated nicer because, I mean, they weren't criminals. They just owed somebody some money. But you can see the window's larger.
Mm-hmm.
This, again, is one of the original bars. I thought I saw something fall in. It was birds flying.
Mm.
These are original bars in this window as well. So,
So when you say original bars, you found them here or you just copied what they...
they never left here
Oh,
from the time that it was built.
so when Hendricks, who was it Hendricks who lived here?
Mm-hmm.
These were bars were on the window?
When we lived here, the same thing.
Oh, okay.
So, and for some reason, when the building was converted to a dormitory, they didn't take these 2 out either.
Yeah.
So surprisingly. In the 1830s, they did away with the debtor cell concept. And so then these rooms were used for another purpose. People who were declared lunatics would be held here until a bed could be found for them either in Richmond or Stanton.
Oh,
And in some cases, they'd be held here for a year or more, waiting for a bed to be found.
are these original floors? They
No.
look different than that.
Now, these are original to the time when it was made into a dormitory, but not from the
Okay.
original building construction.
And is this wood original?
These are. This is part of the original construction.
Uh-huh.
Of course, one on top's not.
You have to use her?
Okay. And this is another debtor cell, the second one. This is the room that James Clark was being held in, I told you about.
Yeah.
And now we have it configured, we call it the voices room. And you see around the wall there are 5 different stations. And you can pick it up and listen to it, and the person will tell you their story about their time in the jail or whatever.
Does it start automatically or do you have
It
to?
should start automatically.
You're about to hear 2 stories of people who were incarcerated here in the Brentsville jail for mental illness. Their stories come from transcripts taken in the Brentsville courthouse and stored in the county clerk's office. In many cases, the mental illness that these people suffered from is unknown. The jail.
That's enough. Cool. I don't know if that'll pick it up or not, so. Civil War soldiers.
The building was in use as a jail continuously throughout the Civil War,
Oh,
and with the same jailer. So the jailer never changed. The difference was that when the Confederates, the locals, controlled Brentsville, they would lock up the Union prisoners.
oh,
When the Union forces took over, they would lock up the Confederate prisoners. So it was back and forth all the time. But the same jailer the whole time. This is one of the windows that we had to rebuild. And these are bars that we had made to go in the windows.
yeah, and you can actually see a little bit of the corner of the roof of the White House.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the Prince William Academy.
In this room, in 1897 to 1905, it was the Prince William Academy or the Brentsville Academy. It went by several different names, but it was a normal school. Normal school was actually started in France in the early 1700s. And the first record of a normal school in the United States was in Boston in the late 1700s. Normal schools were developed because prior to that, teachers would teach whatever they thought was important. And it was never the same in any 2 schools. And so the students who went to school A didn't learn the same thing as the ones that went in B. And so they decided we should be teaching all of the students the same thing. And so that's why they developed the normal schools. This was a school to teach teachers. That certificate behind you was given to me by one of the Bradshaw men. His grandmother, Mary Catherine Curlin, graduated from here in 1905, I think
wow.
it said. And
Like the old sewing machine. Wow. What's the story behind the picture there?
they're just pictures. But this, is supposed to depict what a girl's dormitory room might have looked like
Mm-hmm.
in that time.
The